I recall the minutes before my first dive like a person remembers the first time they lost their tooth. I was on a boat in the naval base on Guam with my parents, Liz and Ramon Veglio, along with two family friends, Greg and Stephanie Schaefer. At this point, I was 9 years old, and it had been 1 year since I have lived on the island of Guam. That day was as picture perfect as you could imagine a day on an island 13 degrees north of the equator could be. The sun was shining. The temperature could not have been more than 86 degrees Fahrenheit, accompanied by the slightest cold ocean breeze. I had been snorkeling around the boat for what must have been no more than 20 minutes, where I had been struck by the bright idea to try and die as close as I could, where my parents and friends were 15 feet deeper than I was. This attempt did not go very well, as you may assume, because I did not know at the time that a snorkel could get so full of water if you tried to breathe underwater. After nearly drowning myself, I decided to wait on the boat until after everyone surfaced back on the surface of the water as well. Then came what felt like the longest 45 minutes of my life, until finally, everyone was at the surface of the water. When this happened, either my mother or myself got the courage to ask our friend Greg if he could give me the chance to scuba dive. Thankfully, he was kind enough to agree to, even though legally I was not allowed to. He showed me how to breathe with the regulator, and without any fins, he grabbed me by my waist and we dove. The feeling I felt being totally surrounded by water was unlike anything I had ever felt before. I wanted to stay under the slow-moving waves, look around in the coral for fish, and continue to swim in this what felt like an alien world forever. Jumping to my 10th birthday, I was more ready than ever to finally get my junior certification, and even more ready to go back to this alien world. We had all made the bold decision to let me get a taste of scuba diving before classes started. In Guam, there is a popular tourist spot called the Piri Fish Eye. This place was where most people go to scuba dive, as there are so many different types of fish and a decently sized coral reef. As we got closer and closer to the beach, my heart pounded harder and harder. When we finally got under the water again, my anxiety that had been there before had completely washed away, and all that was left was an extreme calmness and wonder that I just could not contain. I spent the first 5 minutes just floating, looking in every direction, trying to absorb every detail and burn the memory into my subconscious mind so that I could visit it again in my dreams. That night before my classes, I could not sleep because I felt like what I had experienced that day was nothing more than a dream, and I was too scared to see if I would wake up. The next morning, I came to find out that it had not been a dream. In fact, if it had... In fact, I was already on my way to my first class, and when I got there, I was 30 minutes early and just bouncing off of the walls in anticipation. The next 2 weeks were the most amazing weeks of my life, even at this point of being almost 2 decades old. After I finally got my certification as a junior diver, for the next 3 years until I moved back to the States, I continued to dive. I had made so many memories that I will continue to hold in my heart until the day I die. I was given the blessing to dive in islands such as the Philippines, Palau, Pohnpei, and the Maldives. And as I do this Memoir, I get emotional and teary-eyed as I reminisce on those days, recalling the sights, sounds, and animals I was able to see and experience. As I have gotten older, every time I am asked to describe what it felt like to scuba dive in all of these places, I never truly had an answer. Then there came a game called Anthem, and with this game was a soundtrack that contained a piece of music that perfectly encapsulated how I felt. With a feeling of mystery, wonder, exploration, timidness, and excitement, this song called Legion of Dawn, composed by Sarah Scachner, was able to make this description possible. I want to give you, the reader, a glimpse into this alien world that I claim to be my second home. There are not enough words to tell, nor the time to tell you how utterly stunning this ocean can be, specifically the Pacific Ocean. As much as it would be easier to show you rather than tell you, we do not have the current means to do so. With that aside, this will have to do, as I realize that many people have fears regarding the Big Blue Ocean. There are many dangers within this ocean, yes, but this does not mean you have to be afraid. The act of scuba diving with whale sharks, manta rays, and even real deal sharks is that you learn that respect and fear are two faces of the same coin. However, as all things need in life, it is important that you balance these feelings. This memoir is my hope to help you go and seek out the ocean for yourself, to fall in love with it as much as I have, or even more so. My life has been opened and perspective on concepts of society have been molded and shaped by my experience with the ocean, as my life has been in a constant flow for as long as I could remember. Understand that my goal is to help you mold that fear into respect. So I ask you, will you let yourself become a part of the ocean? To experience and see things that you had neither thought of nor imagined in your life. For if so, then you will find qualities being brought out within yourself that you have never thought could happen.